So one of the things that Tucker Carlson and this new right-wing movement has done is they like to posture as not only for the working class, but also us, bro, we're anti-war. We're anti-war. We're not like the George W. Bushes and the Dick Cheneys and the neocons. I mean, we think all that stuff is crazy. But then every now and then, the mask will slip, and they'll let you know what they really think. And it is far goofier and far more absurd than you could ever imagine. So here's Tucker Carlson. Look at what he says about our neighbors to the north. Canada, eh?
Ask you about Canada and what we saw happen there last winter, the trucker protests, and then the crackdown by the authoritarian government of Canada. What struck you about that?
I thought you were going to ask me whether Trudeau is Castro's son, or if you
very much obviously is, and I'm completely in favor of a Bay of Pigs operation to liberate that country. I mean, why should we stand back and let our biggest trading partner, the country with which we share the longest border, and actually, I could just say a great country. I love Canada. I've always loved Canada because of its natural beauty. Why should we let it become Cuba? Like, why don't we liberate it? We're spending all this money to liberate Ukraine from the Russians. Why are we not sending an armed force north to liberate Canada from Trudeau? And I mean it.
Well, I don't know.
But then you don't have.
So when he started out that commentary, I was like, oh, he's definitely joking. But then he switched to a more serious tone, and he kept going. And by the end of it, he's like, no, I mean it. And I was like, oh my God, he means it. Why don't we invade Canada to liberate Canada? How do you even respond to that, man? So now we have prominent conservatives calling to invade Canada and invade Mexico at the same time. Who was it the other? It was Marjorie Taylor Greene originally. It was also Donald Trump. And then it was Dan Crenshaw, who's supposed to represent the more reasonable wing of the Republicans. They came out and were like, oh yeah, invade Mexico. We got to go after these drug cartels. So invade them, start bombing. Whether or not Mexico approves, we don't care. If AMLO's for it or not for it, doesn't matter. Just go invade. Do it. Go bomb. And now we get that with Canada? With Canada. With Canada. Look, needless to say, you can have issues with specific things that the Canadian government did, and hey, this goes too far, and I don't like that, and let's debate this, and that's all fine and dandy. And there were aspects of that trucker protest I was like, I don't know, seems like a heavy-handed crackdown, not sure I like this, even though I don't agree with the protesters. Of course, but to then turn around and say, well, obviously we need to liberate them. That is neocon logic 101. That is neocon, warhawk, imperialist thinking 101. First of all, why is it our responsibility? Why is it incumbent upon us that we get to determine that other countries are not acting right? It's like, how many times have we made this point before, but who's going to watch the Watchmen? What about when we violate the principles we claim to hold? When our government does torture, for example, does illegal invasions, for example, does NSA spying, the Patriot Act, illegal and unconstitutional actions of the government that take away your right to privacy, take away your protection from unreasonable search and seizure. What about then? Should Canada invade us? Should Canada topple us? Should Mexico topple us? Like, there is no consistent standard here, and he knows this. Because, again, he postures all the time. Me, bro, I'm Mr. Anti-War. But he, picks and chooses the countries that he's anti-war for. So, on the Russia issue, he's like, let me give talking points that back up Putin and besmirch Ukraine. On Iran, randomly, he's like, yeah, we shouldn't go in there and topple Iran because we saw what happened with Iraq. But now, all of a sudden, with Canada, it's like, oh, that's cool. Let's do that. We need a Bay of Pigs for Canada. I would love to see an empirical analysis that goes issue for issue and compares Canada to the U.S. and shows ranks the level of freedom, right? Because in some ways they are way more free than we are. So for Tucker to act like, bro, they're an authoritarian government, they're cracked down, they don't even like freedom there, bro. I'm pretty sure by an objective measure of it, we would rank worse on the freedom front than Canada. So again, should we just topple our own government? Hey, don't answer that, because Tucker may have some thoughts about January 6th. They're a little yikesy. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see if he says anything else stupid.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm there yet with you.
I'm just talking myself into a frenzy here.
I was
That's right.
pleasantly surprised by the trucker protest. Canada has so been broken. Canada and the U.S. are actually interesting comparisons. That Canada has been much more neuter.
Okay. Anyway, you get the gist of it. Tucker Carlson dropping the whole anti-war tap dance there for a second to say we should invade our northern neighbor. I literally can't make this up. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.